It's about the money, but Friday the 13th #1 still stands on its own as really a tribute to the horror films of its kind, and it doesn't fall by the wayside at all. And we all didn't make very much money, including, I suppose, the producer, Sean Cunningham. But, you know, it really stands on its own, and you love it for what it is. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. And it really started another ball game that was going on that made all these gentlemen, handsome men, every one of them, wish I had met them and known them in the first movie. But they have made Jason live, and he's dead. Who are you speaking to? All the Jasons.
The boy in the lake.
If I may, I'll answer that. And that is, you don't have to talk to be an actor.
No, I know that. I was just saying, is it kind of hard, like, being on set? Is there, like, a lot of takes? Like, you had to take a couple takes?
In part 3, because of the 3D effect, it was probably one of the longest shoots out of all the movies that they did. It took over 12 weeks to shoot the movie. And sometimes we would do over 30 takes on one scene.
Boring. Boring when to an actor that has to do all the takes.
And try doing that at 2 a.m. in the morning with a mask on and you're pouring with sweat. Standing in front of a fireplace with a poker, and the cameraman can't get the thing in focus.
At least it wasn't up your fanny, you know.
You know what, I'll give you an answer I think all the Jasons will agree with. I challenge anybody to stand in front of a mirror without making any expression in your face, no verbal communication, show anger, fear, and curiosity without any expressions in your face. Believe it or not, it's challenging.
You bet.
See,
we had acting. What are they demanding of you? You're an actor, for God's sake.
We had to do it with body motion because we couldn't talk. So it was all about the way you carried yourself, the way you walked, the way you reacted.
But that does speak as an actor.
Sure it does.
You know?
Sure it does. So you know, like I say, you don't need to be able to talk to be an actor.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first got the job, I went up to Connecticut, and they said, put the costume on. I put the costume on. It was good. And the name of the film at the time was Jason.
They actually gave you a costume?
Yes. And the name of the film was Jason, and I was under the impression, the name of the film was Jason, and I was playing Jason. So riding up there, I said, I got the lead role in the film. I was so friggin' excited. And I got there, and they said, take him to the wardrobe. They put the costume on, put the shoes on. They said, get the bag. I looked at the stunt coordinator and said, what do you mean by the bag? And they said, well, they got this bag they put over your head. I said, you mean they don't get to see my face? He says, not till the end of the movie, then you got a lot of makeup on, they don't see your face. I said, okay, I can deal with that. I said, okay, give me the script. He said, there's no script. I said, so I got the lead role in the film, I got a bag over my head, I got no lines. I'm the star of the movie. He said, that's the name of the game. I find out I'm not the star of the movie, Warrington Gillette was the star of the movie.
But I think the man to your left was the man that denied that he would go into a situation where he jumped through a windmill and have his face all scratched up with glass. And he was the one that demanded to have a mask of some sort, or a bag. Talking about having a bag on, right?
That's not the story, honey.
It isn't? That's a story you told me a long time ago.
I'll get you a loan later, I'll tell you this.
Oh, I don't think so.
Steve Miner, who directed part 3, came to me one day and said, whatever you do, do not come and ask me what your motivation is. Because you have no motivation. You're just a mindless killer like Jaws.
That's somebody who doesn't love actors.
But
Actors
you have to have
motivation.
some sort of motivation, otherwise you just cannot do what you're supposed to do. And then halfway through the movie, I went up to him, and just as a joke, I said, can't we put a scene in there where the mask actually comes off so my mother can actually see that I'm in the movie? And he freaked out because he thought I was serious. He goes, don't you ever do that. Please don't do that. So he shows up the next day with a black shirt on, and it's got written on it in black, in blood, in red blood. I was the monster in Friday the 13th, part 3. And I still to this day have that t-shirt.
Someone had a question over here.
That guy over there has had his hand up for half an hour.
Oh, he has to go to the bathroom.
I'm not letting him.
You're excused.
You want to go no?
Yeah, it's one quick question. What do y'all think about Friday the 13th series beating Star Wars out when it first came out?
Great.
Next.
We're doing Star Wars?
Yeah, it beat out Star Wars in the movie theaters on that Friday the 13th.
Well, that was all because of
Did I
Derek.
suppose
In Derek's
they may
version.
have-
Derek. That was
No, the
Derek.
original.
The original, yeah, 'cause
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, the original beat it out.
I didn't know that. Well, that's his.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what was being said.
I still don't know what's going on.
You know, I think, seriously, just to speak, if I may, for one moment, I've been speaking before, but I think the success of the first Friday the 13th, and I will credit Sean Cunningham for having a lot of talent or no talent, or whether he lucked out or whether he did it on purpose. But I think the reason why, well, it's true, I'm not sure about all that. But the reason why I think that Friday the 13th #1 has succeeded was that it was filmed in such a way where you, all of you who were viewing it, made up your mind about, was there somebody moving behind that shower curtain in the John? Was all of these things happening? It was your imagination which made this movie the happiness and the success that it was for you, because you were a part of it. It wasn't all there, and there wasn't a lot of blood, and 30 years later, you still know that Mrs. Voorhees is going to come in and that she's the killer, but you're still captivated by the movie, and I think that that is the secret of Friday the 13th #1, and that it's in its classic form that it is. And I must say, even though I thought it was a piece of shit, and I wasn't going to do it and nobody would see it, I am very, very happy to be Mrs.
Mom.
I'm happy to be the actress that was part
She's
of the
mom.
movie. I'm what?
Mom.
Mom.
Well, maybe yes and maybe no. I may not be the mom. No, I'm not really the mom of the world. Or maybe I am the mother that you'd all like to have.
Yes, you are.
Let the boy go out and do all that stuff. Okay, I'll assume that. I'm But thank you as an audience for having the intellect and the intelligence for being able to put all of that stuff together and say, I'm scared. Because we all want to be frightened. And it's beautiful.
If you look at the series of Friday the 13th, they were actually going to stop it after part 3. And part 3 was such a big success, so they decided to do part 4.
Why didn't you do that? I didn't see it. So I don't know.
We're still waiting for Steve to come back.
Wait.
boy.
And if you look at part 4 was actually called the final chapter because that was the last one they were going to do. But that was such a big success, they started another one, which was the New Beginning. And so it went on and went on and went on.
Well, as long as it makes money, it's going to be a success.
Yeah.
So you might as well get down to that stuff about it too. Yeah.
And there's rumor that they're going to go as far as Friday the 13th, part 13.
You're kidding. Okay, what are
Derek
they going
probably
to
knows
do
more
now?
about that than I do, but
He's
What are they going to
that's the
do?
rumor that I've
That's a
heard.
hit, then
Friday the 13th, part 13 is...
We'll get to you guys in the back with your hand up tomorrow.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Stand up so we can hear.
What is our favorite murder, is what you're asking each one of us?
Squeezing somebody's eye out.